We're stopped here in front of 3 different rootstock trials, actually 4 different rootstock trials, and the handout that I'm passing around gives you a couple bits of information. It gives you a map of each of these trials as well as some of the data. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time standing in front of these. I just want to point out a couple things and give you 2 minutes to go down and look at anything that you might want to particularly look at. The first trial I want to talk about are the supported trial, 2 rows right over there with the pressure treated posts. Those are the 1999 NC-140 dwarf rootstock trial. We have a number of different things in this. We have, and it's, I don't know what page it is in your handout, but you'll see it as 1999 NC-140 dwarf. G16 is in this trial. It was actually one of our earliest plantings of G16. We've got supporter 1, 2, and 3, which is from the Pillnitz breeding program in Dresden, Germany. And then we've got a number of numbered Cornell Geneva rootstocks. Now, one of these is already named. CG 3041 is G41. Now, the ones of interest, I think, are potentially G16 and G41. If you look at G41, it's about an M26 size tree. It's a little more productive, and fruit size is about the same. At this point, I think these data don't really point to it as being a spectacular standout rootstock. So I'm withholding judgment on it at this point. G16 is somewhere between M9 and M26 in size, or similar to a large M9 tree. It's reasonably productive. It's on average more productive than M9 or M26 has been. Pretty comparable to M9. Fruit size is pretty comparable. So it's doing pretty well. But in general, I felt that G16 produces a tree that's a bit larger than I want as a dwarf. The supporter rootstocks they tend to be on the small side. They tend to be very productive for their size, but they also have a fruit size problem. They generally had small fruit size on the supporter series. Now, also in here we have an older planting with G16 in it. A planting of Gala, and if you find it's a 1998 NC-140 rootstock trial, it has just M9 EMLA, dirty M9, and G16. In this trial, G16 just has not performed particularly well. It's a larger tree. It's less productive than either of the M9 strains, and it has small fruit size relative to the M9 strains. So I don't think that it has done very well in that trial. That trial is in its 9th leaf this year, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, 9th leaf this year. The other one of interest, there's one here I won't bother to talk about. The other one of interest is the 1999 semi-dwarf rootstock trial. So if anybody's interested in planting semi-dwarf trees, there are some new rootstocks worth looking at. The one that's of most interest in here is G30, which is from the Cornell Geneva program. But it's a semi-dwarf rootstock that's just about the same size as M7. It's produced to date about twice as much fruit, and the fruit size is reasonably good. So it's a much more productive tree than M7, but roughly the same size.
Does it produce a lot of suckers like M7?
No, it doesn't produce any suckers to speak of. Over the life of the planting, M7 has produced 36 suckers per tree, and G30 has produced 6. So many fewer suckers than M7. It has the potential for a brittle graft union. The idea is no, it doesn't need to be supported. I think what New York is saying is that they want to support everything, regardless. These trees have not been supported unless they've leaned over. So if you happen to take a look in the trees, it's this row and the latter part. If I'm oriented correctly, the latter part of this row that is the semi-dwarf trial. And you don't see very many supported trees in there, so you'll see what it looks like unsupported.